How do you tackle loneliness when in the US?
I think I have a limited social battery.
Recall you telling me that you also went to attend a vipassana. I want to know more about that.
In the first like 3 days, it like started getting difficult. It was a more mental thing for me than any spiritual or any physical challenge of the thing. Your legs are tightened.
Yeah.
You tighten yourself up to protect yourself maybe, or that is your reflex.
It seems I'm talking to some spiritual guru. You've been to a lot of countries, right? Can you explain about your travel experiences? Like which countries have you traveled to and how it has shaped your way of thinking?
To go to different places and write like how am I feeling or what is this place making me feel.
Regarding H-1B, like I only knew that you have 3 attempts, and once you're done with that, you can no more work in the US. When you are on your deathbed, like what you will be proud of?
Why this has turned into a TRS.
Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 with Mayur. We stopped after your master's experience and a lot has happened since then. We have some major updates for you. We will give that in a while, but now let's move. Like I have some personal questions for you. First is that how do you tackle loneliness when in the US? Because I have been in the US and I'm kind of introvert, so still it has been difficult for me fighting loneliness, especially on the weekends and all that. So how do you manage that?
Oh, I see.
What's your experience?
I think I have a limited social battery. I don't know, I'm one of those types. I don't know if it is called introverted extrovert or extroverted introvert. So after spending like so much time with people, I need some time to by myself, to charge my battery again. I feel social battery. So I I'm very good with myself, to be honest. I don't feel like it's a lonely time kind of thing. I read. I've picked up some hobbies. I write more often. Um, yeah, there are many other things that I do, but uh, I think I'm quite comfortable with the solitude. It's quite nice, I feel.
That's really good because it's not very easy to be happy with yourself. Like you constantly want to distract yourself doing something, but sitting in solitude and spending time with yourself is very crucial for everyone. You have mentioned that your job also involves a lot of travel. So you have been to a lot of countries, right? Can you explain about your travel experiences? Like which countries have you traveled to and how it has shaped your way of thinking?
Yes, I was fortunate that I was able to travel because of work. Um, I think I've traveled to Japan.
Okay.
I think I've been to Taiwan. I've been to Germany multiple times. I've been to Switzerland. I managed to find a weekend in Paris, France. Um, I've been to Mexico a few times. Um, yeah, and these are the countries other than India and US that I've traveled pretty much. I think traveling experience uh, has helped me uh, because mostly my travel would be work travel, so I would travel on my own. So it'll be like exploring the place on your own. Maybe you find some friends in the city, then you like go around with them or try to understand, what to explore, how to explore, stuff like that. But like these were more or less solo trips to an extent. So I was forced into doing solo trips in most of these places, and that was very nice experience. I didn't know if I like solo trips before. My idea about traveling was with friends or like enjoying between us while exploring the place. But yeah, I think I've explored France by myself. Even I think like earlier I explored New York by myself. I had some friends, but I was like, oh, let me try this. Let me go on like 7 or 10 days thing, and let me just explore it by myself. I like it. I think it is very. I think sometimes it is very peaceful, and there have been a lot of interesting experiences that I've had, like everywhere. Some good, like some interesting. But yeah, all good learnings. I think travel teaches you a lot.
You might have faced a lot of culture, like different cultures around the world. So, how do you deal with different type of people? The work culture or the type of communication in other countries is quite different. Like for example, Japan. So, how do you cope up with that? Like, do you prepare something while talking, like while having a meeting with those people, or like?
Oh, I don't think I prepared anything else. I think every time I've been working with a new culture, it is understanding, how do they communicate. Sometimes you have to be like more patient uh, in terms of getting whatever you want to say across to them, getting the idea across. Um, I think it is mostly patience. It's mostly figuring out how do they speak or what are they trying to say. In what way you could like communicate things like simpler, better. I recall initially I would complicate things and complicate sentences, and then it will be very difficult for them to understand. I had to break it down, like simplify it, and then communicate in that manner, which will be easy for them to understand, process. Then the once that back and forth is like smoother, and then the communication is, I think, like good. Initially I think I've struggled with like some part of the world.
Even my goal is to travel a lot of places around the world, so I will definitely have some tips from you. Like I would need some tips for you how to plan the trips and how to roam alone and all. So
Yeah, please. I am happy to share. I think I went from the phase of planning to the T. Like planning everything, planning maybe hour, every 2 hour. Um, but then I feel I want to have like a fine balance. I don't want to like really plan. Sometimes I want to go by whatever I feel in the
go with
moment
the flow, like
and
not
like
plan
explore.
every hour or something.
Yeah, one thing I realized when I was in Japan the last time is um, just telling yourself that this is not the last time you're in this place. Okay. Sometimes I think I've earlier, or sometimes people like tell themselves that, hey, let's cover everything because I don't know if we'll come here again or
You want
not.
to visit this, visit
Yes.
that.
I just changed that for myself and said like, hey, this is not the last time that I'm going to be in this place. Probably I'll land here again and I'll cover other things. It's fine. Whatever time I have, I just need to like be happy, be like at peace and like explore places. Not that I don't want to do anything, but like take it at my own
Be in the
pace.
present moment, be
Yeah,
at peace, and
yeah.
just enjoy the nature.
Not have like a
Enjoy the
17 place list like for like 3 4 days and like keep worrying about not doing it. It's like
it happened with me as well when I used to visit various states in the US. Like my plan was to cover each and every tourist location. But later I realized that
good luck.
yeah, later I realized it's not possible and it gets very hectic at a
True.
point. So you just have to enjoy even 2 3 places, but you enjoy it to the fullest, and that's how you would enjoy your trip, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I started also doing this thing. I have a small pocket diary called Travel Diary. And I used to go to different places and write like how am I feeling or what is this place making me feel. I like pull that in my journal so that I have some memories from whatever places I traveled or explored. Because every place makes you feel different. I had this thing about I think I heard this somewhere. Is about observing uh, boring things at exciting places.
Okay. Can you explain more on that?
Like just walking on the street and seeing like what is the sound of the ambulance here. It seems to be very subtly different for like seeing normal things happen, normal boring everyday things happen, like let's say uh, in streets of Paris. It's very different. Like I remember I went for a run early morning in Munich, and I was seeing everyday things happening. Like shops were like opening up, and people are preparing themselves. So it is just like it is just a different memory that is being left. Otherwise, you would only see this place where you live, or stuff like that. So I think that was a thing for me for some time. Yeah,
That's a
observing
really good
boring
idea.
things at
So now,
exciting places.
I think now when you look back at your diary, you might be feeling good. Like this is how I felt and all the things you noted. So do
Yeah.
you go back and read that?
Not that often.
No.
Yeah, not that often. But I have something. I think it makes me feel good. Maybe next time I'll go and like briefly see which place made me feel better, and like or like how did it make me feel next time and so on. I'm not like yeah. I'm trying to be consistent. I write if I feel like writing.
That's
Most of it is
interesting.
done. Yeah.
So
Same with Instagram, I guess.
oh,
I uploaded a lot of stories in like earlier travel on
I do.
Instagram.
Mhm.
Um, now I don't feel like doing
You
it.
don't.
Yeah.
I'm still addicted to that. Like whenever I visit some fancy places, I will put the stories on Instagram while having a casual conversation with Mayur, I like recall you telling me that you also went to attend a vipassana. I want to know more about that. Like I only know that you are not allowed to take any phones, no TVs. You have to get up early, sleep early, eat, and not talk to anyone. I only know that stuff. So can you explain more on that? Like why did you decide to going on that? And
Oh, I just learned from a friend, and I was like, I was just excited about the thing. Meaning, I went with an open mind to see how would it be. The most interesting part for me was that, hey, this is like a challenge, and let me see if I can do this or not. It was a more mental thing for me than any spiritual or any, physical challenge of the thing. Um, and I was excited to not have phone or any digital thing around me
for 20
because that has never been in life, right? Like you always want to like, if you feel something, you always want to get distracted. You want to do something.
every 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You see notification, you get distracted, and happy. The day passes and so on. So I was really, I think I really like that there's going to be no digital access at all. There's going to be no writing access, no reading material access. And this is going to be for 10 days. You're going to meditate, I think on an average for 10 hours every day.
Okay.
And also the diet was also going to be very light and very nice. It was like a detox, I think. Like a mental and a digital detox, I would say to an extent. Um, so yeah, I think my personal experience was nice because I didn't know what to expect, and I went by it. Uh, I would say they were like in the first like 3 days, it like started getting difficult. Meaning, I felt that I would only get thoughts for initial few days. Once I'll process things in my head, I'll just be out of it. But that doesn't happen. Like I think they also tell, but your mind keeps telling you, or like throwing stories, throwing random pictures, random how to say, like illustrations, things back to back, back to back. Trust me, they used to ask us to focus on breath, the natural breath, not do anything artificial. And it was even difficult to focus on, let's say, 10 breaths, 12 breaths, 15 breaths. Your mind would just wander away, and you have to bring it back, like, be calm. There are times when I got frustrated at myself in terms of, oh, what am I doing? Like a simple thing that I have to do, right? Just focus on the breath. Um, but then it's just like, I think I learned in that technique that you just have to be kind to yourself. And if you wander away, you just have to like tell yourself it's okay and like try to focus again, like every other thing. I think the one other thing which I liked about Vipassana, which I learned, I think it's very, how to say, it's very known as well, is they call it this thing about anischa. Anisha is a word. I think it's a Sanskrit or Pali word. Yeah. And they say like you'll have sensations over your body all the time. Um, and that is the most subtlest truth that is there for you in the moment. Everything that was there in the past is already gone. Nothing in future you can hold control or whatever. So in this moment, whatever is now is the sensation that you're having in your body. And you have sensation all over your body. And they ask you to meditate on the sensations.
Just observe that.
Just observe that. Like for example, um, you might have seen, or like even everybody does this, is we do this. We do this. These are biochemical reactions happening on your body, and they say that this is the reality at the moment. And like, or your natural breath, of course, right? So if you keep observing this sensations coming from time to time, you're meditating in a way. Like for example, something something happens, and you are angry, okay, or you are very scared. What happens in your body?
I feel kind of defensive. Like I don't know. I have that feeling. Like I can't describe that.
Something happens, like if you're angry, something happens maybe inside your body, and sometimes your legs are tightened.
Yeah.
You tighten yourself up. to protect yourself, maybe, or that is your reflex to reactions. And if you observe it, or if you understand, hey, this happens to me every time I'm angry. Um, something I feel good every time I'm happy. Something is there, and you just like characterize what is happening to your body. This is a way to like keep yourself slightly calmer instead of like reacting.
That's consciously focusing on the reaction that you are giving
Yes,
on
being
something.
more mindful, like introducing that break between your the point at which the reaction occurred and you react. Yeah, if you can like do that, I think it helps you. That's what I say. Am I able to do that? No, I think the vipassana effect went away in like a few months, but I think it has helped me to be like slightly more calmer and to establish that disconnect to an extent.
Are you planning to do it again, like continuing it, or not in the near future?
I think I want to do it at some point. Now that I've done a 10-day course, I'm eligible to do 3-day courses as well.
Oh,
So weekend is also possible.
so for beginners, it should be a 10-day course,
Should
like
be
when
a
you
10-day
start.
course. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you're not allowed to do 3-day courses. You're not allowed to serve. Yeah, that's what it is.
Got it. That's really interesting and enlightening for me. Like it seems I'm talking to some spiritual gurus. So really
Oh my
good to
goodness.
good to hear something
Not
from
at
you.
all. Yeah.
Because many of the young students like me feel that this is only for some older people. Like we are so young, we are in our 20s or 30s. So that is the natural perception. But I think it is for everyone, right? Like no matter if you are in your 20s, 30s, or 50s or 60s. So it should be for everyone, and everyone should at least try this once. Is what my thought is.
Yeah, I think so. If you feel excited about this, if you feel like this is a thing where you might want to give it a shot. I guess. I think many people don't have time to process things that happen in life.
Yes.
I had one of my friends who had like uh, lost one of his relatives, and I think he was going through many different things, so he never got time to process it. And I think when he did Vipassana, it was really helpful to him. And he said like he kind of like thought through things, he thought through other things, and it helped him. It gave him that break which he needed. Sometimes like life just happens, and we just like push it under the carpet and just move on.
My next question for you is like, what is your primary motivation in life? Like, definitely it shouldn't be money. What do you look forward to? Like, what is your aim?
Ah,
Like, when you are on your deathbed, like, what you will be proud of?
why this has turned into a TRS
This
out of nowhere. Yeah, interesting.
And this question was again because you are in the US. Like my primary motivation, as I said, was money. So I don't think I would be able to stay here for 6 years. But you have been here for quite a few years. So what has been your motivation? What drives you?
What drives me here?
Yeah, in here. Yeah.
I think challenging yourself. I think we are in the prime years of our life. So finding a challenge and you know devoting yourself to it and like solving problems on a daily basis. That gives a sense of accomplishment. Being useful. I think Elon said in one of his podcasts recently is just like maximizing utility, uh, area under the curve utilization, or I think the other way, maximize utilization, area under the curve usefulness.
Okay.
So it is like just being useful every day. And once you do that, you get those dopamine hits that you solve something challenging, you navigate an uncertain situation, and I think that keeps me going.
Major update, guys, is that Mayur's H-1B has been picked, and really congratulations for that. We were really at the crossroads, like whether you will be staying in the US or going to Canada. We also planned the road trip from West Coast to East Coast, so that has been
Tell me,
cancelled.
how do you feel about it? Or your time here, you flying and you flying back?
It was a mixed feeling for me, like because we never knew like what the plan would be, like
So
whether we would be going in a week, going in 2 weeks, going by car, going by flight. Like we were always planning, like should we book the flight, like where should we stop for the car trips and so on. But finally, listening to your decision. It was a happy moment and sad that we couldn't do the car trip, but really happy for you that you will be extending your stay in the US and you got what you want.
Yeah, no, thank you. Um, yeah, thanks for flying. Thanks for your time, I think. Um, yeah, unfortunately, this couldn't be a road trip, but couldn't ask for a better outcome, I guess. And like, it is just uncertain, right? Some things are not just in your control, so you just take it as they come, I guess.
How was it for you? Like a roller coaster of emotions. Like what were you feeling before your decision? Like, you never know where you would land up.
Yeah, I would be lying if I say that I was not feeling, low-key anxious. There was quite some uncertainty, um, but I think it was mostly trying to figure out, what are the possibilities and planning to it, making sure you're not missing on anything. There were two routes that we were operating on. What happens if the result is positive or negative, and we're trying to make sure that um, every single possibility, whatever is there, we're taking care of it. We're thinking of it. We're not missing something. So it was mostly that. And when this happened, I think one and the end of the route completely went off. Now, and to be honest, I was more prepared for that part. Um, not to say because there was like 4% chance of getting picked. It means that there is a 96% chance of not getting picked, and you must be prepared for that 96%, right? More than that 4%. And sometimes life happens, like life surprises you. So here you go. This is a 4%. Now I need to figure out this 4%.
Wow, for sure. But that's a great time. Now you should celebrate for a while and just let that emotions kick in.
Oh, I
for a day or two.
Celebrate for a while. Sure. Yeah, definitely. But also, I think high should not be that high and low should not be that low.
Yeah,
As
balanced, as neutral as possible.
Yeah, yeah, I think that is how I want to keep it. Yeah.
Got it. And regarding H-1B, like I only knew that you have 3 attempts, and once you're done with that, you can no more work in the US. But what was this like short, small attempt? What is that? Can you explain on that? Because your third attempt was done, right? And after that, how did you get in the lottery again?
Oh, good
I didn't
question.
know what
Oh,
this.
good question. So how it works is, you have 3 years OPD,
Yes.
and the first round happens in April.
Okay.
Okay, end of March, April, I think so. Yeah, and if you have applied for the April lottery, if you're eligible, if your employer has applied, then USCIS runs that lottery. They select certain candidates. Once they select candidates from both the, I don't know what it is called, but one is like master's cap and other is the general category. Once they select like X number of candidates, you can apply, I think, until end of July. Okay, sometime there, end of June or end of July, I don't remember. And USCIS checks at that time everybody who was selected, have they applied?
Oh,
Okay. And there can be layoffs, and certain people won't be able to apply. There can be other reasons where somebody's picked, but they change their plans and they no longer need it. So those applicants are like gone. Until last year, there used to be um, I don't know, like some duplicate applicants.
Oh, yeah.
So some seats would still remain like available. So USCIS takes things into account somewhere in like July-ish, late July-ish, and they'll be like, oh, okay, we this many people applied, but this many people only like actually applied. So this many places are open. We would run the selection once again. So hence they ran the selection once again, the lottery system, and they chose some more like applications. Hence the second round.
So that's where you said is the 4% probability came in. Like
Exactly.
it was
4% basically is like there was no master's cap. Usually it is 65,000 in general category. I think this is last year's typical numbers. Don't quote me on that, please. And 20,000 for master's cap. So they had enough applicants from master's camp this year, and it was only general category. And they had published, I think they selected around 13,000 candidates this time. which was approximately 4% of the total candidates that were eligible, I believe. So yeah, hence 4% chance. So yeah, if this 13,000 selected candidates, they don't end up applying, or there are some change in plans, or whatever happens, like then there also can be a third lottery.
Wow.
Yeah, which is slightly unlikely. There was a year there was third lottery as well. One key thing to remember here is, you have to apply for the first lottery of the year, the April one.
Yeah.
Then the application is carried forward.
Oh, so you're auto eligible. You don't have to
Exactly.
do anything on your end.
You don't have to do anything. If you're not in the first lottery, you can't do it.
You can't. Okay. Again, congratulations for that. Like, really happy for you. I hope we can make the road trip soon. Like, maybe you can come over to New York, drive from there, and it might be a good trip for you as well.
Sounds like a good plan. I think I want to do cross country at some point.
I think the only negative, if you want to see, is that you will be paying more taxes, but that's a problem to be saved for later. But I think
Not really. If I had to move in some other country that I was planning to, it was more tax.
more tax
It
than
was more tax.
California.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I mean, there were tax complications because you move country and all. Definitely, like you pay more taxes on you to after H-1B. This isn't tax, but it's still not bad. That's still okay.
Okay. So, like, your next process would be getting the H-1B interview picked up and go back to India for stamping, something like that, right?
Oh, there are like some micro steps before that. One is like applying for CAP because my EAD ends like in a couple of days. It ends tomorrow technically, so I'm not eligible to work from the day after. So I need to file a CAP application, which would be the bridge between now and the H-1B's approved. So H-1B typical approvals are expected by, I think, early October. So between now, for this like 2 odd months, we need to apply for that, get it approved quickly, so that I can be back working. And then once H-1B is approved, like early October, then you need to find an appointment in India, and you need to get your H-1B stamped if you're like going out. Until then, you can like travel out.
Got it.
So yeah.
Got it. So that's it from my side. It was great talking to you. Thank you for all the insights and all the information that you shared with us. And thank you for hosting us at your home. It was a great time here and quite a relaxing time away from work and like at peace, to be honest.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here. It was amazing hosting you guys. I hope you enjoyed your time here.
was tense, but really a great time.
Little or hospitality that I could do or help you guys.
Really.
All pleasures and time. Thank you.
It was a great time. Now I have my flight to catch, so let's
Run.